It's time to rank all four Candyman movies from worst to best. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good one today. I'm the movie ranker, and today I'm ranking all four Candyman movies from worst to best. A few of these I've never seen before. I have seen the original and the 2021 sequel too. I guess it's not a reboot, but this is the first time watch for the second and third film, so this should be interesting. Let me know how you rank these four films down in the comments section below. Would love to hear it. And I want to get this video out sooner. As you may have noticed, I haven't been putting out a whole lot lately. Allergies and whatnot. It's springtime, so I'm trying to do as much as I can, guys. And plus life and work and everything. You know how it is. But yeah, without wasting any more time, let's dive into this ranking. So for me, coming in the last place at number 4 is easily Candyman 3 Day of the Dead. No doubt about it that this is the worst in the series, in the franchise. It lacks all the substance and style that we got in the original. It's all completely gone. The social commentary is spread so thin, it's pretty much non-existent at this point. It's basically just a straight up slasher. And if you're here just to watch a slasher, you're not going to be satisfied either, because the kills aren't that great. Most of them are off screen or just random little hook kills that we've seen before. Nothing new. I think the storyline feels overdone. I do like that they try to continue off of part 2, but it just feels like the same shit over and over, where Candyman has this descendant or someone in his family that he's, trying to kill everybody around them and make them join him to be his victim. It's just the same shit we've seen before, just done a lot worse. The acting is god awful. The main girl, she was like a Baywatch girl, so you can just imagine the performances are not great in here. Even Tony Todd, he's always great as Candyman, but I don't know, he feels bored in the role this time. He doesn't really feel like he's given it his all, so even the villain comes off as kind of lame in this one. Nothing works. It's Day of the Dead. It takes place in LA during the Day of the Dead festival, and that's not really included much into the storyline. A missed opportunity there. And another missed opportunity is, like I said earlier, the kills. There's this one scene where there's like this gang, this cult that kind of worships Candyman, and he shows up and he kills them all, but it's all off screen. You can just hear the sounds of him killing them, but I'm like, at least make it a good slasher if it's going to be straightforward like this. So missed opportunity again. And the way they kill him or get rid of him this time around by ruining his paintings, destroying his paintings. They try to say, to defeat the evil, you must also get rid of the good. And it's just bad writing to me. That just seems stupid. And yeah, not a good movie. I'll probably never return to it unless another Candyman movie comes out and I have to rewatch this. So this was probably a one and done. First time I've seen it and probably the last. Coming up next at number 3, I'm going with Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, the second entry. And unfortunately, it tries to kind of copy a lot of the things from the original, but it just doesn't do them as good at all in every category. It kind of fails to live up to the original, and it's unfortunate. I do like all the added backstory in here, though. They add more to the mythology of Candyman. We actually get a whole flashback scene of him getting his hand chopped off and everything. Probably the best part of the movie, to be honest, which is sad. But everything else, it just feels so generic. You know what I mean? Tony Todd is still great as Candyman. There's still some magic there behind the scenes. You can tell the characters, the actors cared about this project somewhat anyway. But yeah, we got another blonde lead who Candyman's after, and it just feels, like I said, a little bit repetitive, which kind of takes away from the original when you watch 1 and 2 back to back. Makes Helen feel a little less special, I suppose. The kills are all right. I like that one kill where the husband gets the hook going up the stomach. You see it tearing up. Get a cool little B kill in here, but nothing too special. We still get some social commentary in that in here, but again, it's all kind of watered down compared to before. The effects, we get some pretty damn good effects and some good set designs and stuff, like where they go in the slave quarters in the end of the movie and the water kind of washes it out and everything. That looks really great. But then you get other scenes like when they go to defeat Candyman. It looks god awful. The digital effects they put in here did not age well at all, and it kind of makes for a lame ending. And I don't like the whole mirror thing either. How they said his soul was trapped in the mirror, and you defeat the mirror. It's the only way you defeat him. I'm like, it almost feels like a Disney fairy tale at that point when they start adding stuff like that. So not the biggest fan of that, but an okay film. I'm kind of mixed on it. The main storyline is kind of interesting with Annie trying to discover the mystery behind her father's death and how it's linked to Candyman, and her trying to uh, give her brother a good name because he's going to jail for all these murders, and she wants to prove that it was the Candyman. That stuff's kind of interesting, and learning her lineage and how she's a descendant and how her family kind of kept that a secret. Well, her mother anyway. All that's great, but all the other subplots in here kind of bring down the main story. It kind of takes away from it. Whether we're talking about her being a teacher and the kids being involved because she said the Candyman name in there in the classroom. One of the kids goes missing. What else is all the investigation going on with the cops, and there's just too much meat in there, which kind of takes away from the main storyline. I feel like they should have worked harder and focused more on that, because it does make it feel a bit unfocused when you're adding all this other random stuff in there that doesn't actually get fulfilled in a satisfying way. It's never done to justice, all these extra subplots. So yeah, a decent film. There's some things I really like in here, some things they could have done differently. In the end, it's kind of a mixed bag, but it's okay, I suppose. It doesn't like shit on anything the first movie created, like in regards to the storyline or anything like that. So it's okay. Coming up next at number 2, I'm going with Candyman from 2021. Nia DaCosta did a great job at directing this. She did a fantastic job. It looks beautiful. It's full of style. We got a lot of substance back in there, and the social commentary's back. It feels like it pairs well with the original film. These people finally cared about the product, and they delivered in that regard. I also like all the added world building they did with the Candyman, how there's multiple legends over the eras and depending where you live. And like in this one, we had this character named Sherman who became the Candyman, and all that is great. I like all that added stuff, especially the ending with the cops. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you know what I mean, all that stuff is friggin' awesome. I like the way the kills are set up. They're all done where you can only see Candyman through reflections of mirrors and stuff like that. So when it's just in a room, it just seems like a ghost is picking up someone. You don't actually see them. They're invisible. But yeah, I thought that looked really great. It was clever, something new to the franchise, and it worked, with the mirrors and everything. One scene in particular is where the bullies are in high school, all the girls are in the bathroom, and they get taken out. That scene is fantastic. I absolutely love it. But there is a few things holding this one back just a bit. One of them being our main lead. He's kind of slowly descending down the path of like becoming a legend like Candyman. It's like he got infected almost at the first from like a bee sting or whatever, and it's just slowly like changing him. And you can see that throughout the course of the film. And it works for so long, but then the ending just feels rushed where, okay, we have to make him this legend by the end. And it doesn't feel fully developed to me, where I wish we would have had more with his character, more development anyway in the third act. It just kind of happens eventually, where it feels like we're missing something there. But aside from that, I also feel like the social commentary, while I like it being in here because that's what a big part of the original was all about racism and everything, and division. But I feel like in this movie, it's more heavy-handed to you. Like they're trying to feed you the message down your throat instead of just letting it flow with the story and, advance the story. And this one, it's more like people in rooms just talking about how, we were oppressed before because of the white rich people that were in the real estate, and they create these projects and divided people and all this stuff. I'm like, it's better when it was shown to us. This feels like we're being taught, like in a classroom, like they're just telling us, and that's not the way you do social commentary, right? There is some good stuff in here about themes and social commentary, but a lot of the times they're kind of beating you over the head with it, which is kind of unfortunate. They went a little too far with it, I feel. They should have been more subtle, which I'll get to when we get to the original. But yeah, a really breath of fresh air. I think this is a good film. Has some cool visuals in it, that's for sure. Great acting all around. Beautifully directed and everything. Just a few things that bring this one down just a bit for me, but it's definitely worth a watch. And I like everything that they added in this universe. I would like to see more of these films created, especially by this team. They did a great job. But for me, easily coming in the first place, I have to give it to Candyman from 1992, the original film based off a Clive Barker short story or something like that. He has the source material anyway, so you can just imagine. He also made Hellraiser, and this kind of shares a bit of the same violent gothic romance undertones that Hellraiser had, just a little bit. You can kind of tell it's from the same twisted mind. But yeah, this film is one of the best horror movies of the 90s. 90s had some ups and downs, that's for sure, for horror and film. Scream would probably always be my favorite, but this is probably my second favorite 90s horror film. It's that good, and it's one that really took multiple watches for me to appreciate. First time I seen it, I thought it was good, then I thought it was great, and over time, I'm watching this now, I'm like, this is close to being a masterpiece. It's nearly there. It just draws you in. It feels very dreamlike and surreal, but at the same time grounded enough to get under your skin and make you think twice about saying Candyman 5 times in the mirror. The performances are stellar, easily the best in the franchise. Like I said, the 2021 sequel did a great job in that regard, but this one, it just really stands out as iconic. Tony Todd as Candyman, he he just he brings a certain elegance to the screen, but at the same time he's menacing, and it's hard to have both. It almost reminds me a bit of a vampire that's a bit seductive, but you know that they're probably gonna tear your head off and drink your blood. Like, he brings those type of vibes, and it especially helps that Virginia Madsen, who played the lead role as our female lead excellently, she's so damn good. They actually hypnotized her for the scene where she first meets Candyman in the parking garage, and you can see it in her face that she's like spaced out and almost as if she's daydreaming. And just for them to go all the way out there and to hypnotize this woman for a film, not something you ever really heard of before, is just, it's so out there and different and unique. Of course, she didn't like the idea after it happened, and she told them never to hypnotize me again because she wasn't in her right mind, obviously, when that happened. She was in a different state. But it makes for an amazing scene for when them two show up. It's almost as if he's drawing something towards her, and they're like drawing each other. It's amazing, and it works with the whole gothic romance side of the story, how she can either be a descendant or possibly a reincarnation of his lover, which was all part of his backstory. So that is just another thing that makes this movie so great. And like I said, Virginia Madsen just brought it to this role. She's so believable, and the way she starts, she's so confident and strong, and she gets pushed to the limit. Candyman really kind of tortures her mentally throughout this film, making it seem like she's murdering people and escaping from either prison or psych wards and stuff. And everything she's doing, everybody else's perspective makes her seem like the crazy person. But at the same time, her shouting Candyman keeps the legend alive. And it's just so great. And eventually, her becoming a legend herself in the process. It's just so damn cool. The score to this movie really adds to the haunting atmosphere. It's chilling, and it's definitely a standout in this entire franchise. Again, so many things about this film that it does right. There's not a whole lot of violence, but when it is on the screen, it's visceral, it's badass. Especially if you watch the unrated cut. That's what I've been watching lately. I got the Scream Factory Blu-ray of this. Definitely pick it up if you have a chance. There's not a whole lot added, but the little bit of gore they do add, I'm like, I wish that was there all the time. But obviously, MPAA made people cut stuff back in the day. But yeah, just a great movie all around with its themes of the projects and, you know, like I said, division and racism, and even how Candyman's backstory ties in with racism and everything, with, you know, these people going out and chopping his arm off and putting a hook and covering him with honey to get stung by these bees, all because he fell in love with this rich white woman, right, and got her pregnant. It's just such an interesting backstory. They don't give us a lot, but that kind of makes it even more interesting. Let the sequels deal with that. Yeah, what is more to say about this film? I mean, where they had to shoot the film in Cabrini Green in this film, it's like in the projects, and in real life, they were putting themselves in danger, the crew in that, where they would have notice bullet holes in their van and in their equipment. So they put their life on the line here. The main actress, you know, hypnotized herself. So everybody seemed to really give it their all on this film, and it shows. Whether we were talking about the effects, the story, how rich it is, it's so damn good. It's very artistic and stylistic, this film as well. Definitely gets under your skin, and to me, it's no doubt the best movie in this franchise. So it comes in the first place for me. So there you have it. There's my ranking of all 4 Candyman movies. Hope you enjoyed it. Like always, drop your ranking down in the comment section. Would love to hear it. You can follow me on Letterboxd and Instagram. Links to those are always in the description of my videos, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future rankings. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, thanks for watching.